Rap fans everywhere are celebrating the return of Kendrick Lamar. After 5 years of waiting, he released his 5th studio album on Friday, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. It's too soon to offer up a review, but my producers tell me it's great. But ahead of its release, Kendrick was already making headlines over his latest single, The Heart Part 5. It's part of a years-long series in which Kendrick comments on the state of hip-hop culture and its wider impact on the Black community. In a music video for the song, Kendrick uses deep fake technology to transform into 6 people, all Black men who have faced their fair share of success and controversies. One MSNBC opinion columnist writes, "It's to make us face the pain behind famous Black men's actions and the role they serve in shaping the broader community." Joining us now to discuss is the author of that piece, Yvette Dion. She's a culture journalist, critic, and editor. And Yvette, Kendrick Lamar is known for his ability to speak directly and authentically to the Black community while channeling their pain to send really a complex and nuanced message. I mean, help us understand the message he's sending here.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar is one of our culture's greatest storytellers. And the reason why he's been designated for some people in the hip hop culture as a GOAT of that community, or one of the greatest to ever do it, is because he's so able to communicate what is happening within Black American communities specifically, and then even more particularly urban Black communities, Black people who are living within inner cities. And I think because of that, this particular video, he's talking really deeply about the pain that Black people are facing right now, particularly as it relates to gun violence within urban communities. He transforms himself particularly into Nipsey Hussle at the end of this video, one of his closest friends, one of his comrades in hip hop, who was gunned down in front of his own store in March of 2019. And so he's talking about the pain that Black men in particular are facing and the ways in which they communicate that pain is so often violent, but what it's doing and how it's eroding not only them from the inside out, but also the community as a whole.
So you mentioned Nipsey Hussle. He uses the deepfake technology to turn into Kanye West, Will Smith, Kobe Bryant, Jussie Smollett. But in your piece, speaking specifically about Nipsey Hussle and in what Kendrick says, you write, Lamar recognizes that those who are hurt feel compelled to hurt others, even if they're unable to articulate their reasoning. I mean, when you think about how we dehumanize Black men in America, how does this allow us to at least have a deeper empathy for them and their experiences and the ways they've been hurt in order to understand why they may perpetuate harm on others? I mean, does it help us reject this idea that anybody is 100% good or 100% bad?
Absolutely. So I think we often pathologize Black people and Black men. We're often meeting them after they've committed a harm. So all of the men that Kendrick Lamar transforms into, from Jussie Smollett to Will Smith to Nipsey Hussle, we've seen all of them sometimes at their worst moments in our pop culture and in our broader cultural imagination. And by transforming into them and speaking about what causes that, in a way, he's humanizing them. So we're often meeting Black men after they've been incarcerated, or after we've seen Will Smith put his hands on someone at the Oscars, or after Jussie Smollett fabricates a crime. But Kendrick Lamar is asking us to interrogate ourselves and to interrogate our culture to figure out why this is happening. And by doing that, it does allow us to see Black men as whole people who do bad things and good things, but they're not just the sum of the worst decision they've ever made. It really is a combination of everything they've ever done. And he's able to articulate that far better than anyone I've ever seen, to be quite honest, on record.
Quickly before we go, I know it's only been a day, but what's your reaction to the album? Any thoughts?
It's a phenomenal album. Is it his best? No, but I'm deeply enjoying listening to it. I've been listening to it since it was released last night, and I think it's something worth everyone's time. It's one of his best projects in a canon of already incredible work.
Yvette Dion, thank you so much for being here today. Please stay safe. Hi, I'm Zerlina Maxwell. Thanks for checking out our channel on YouTube. You can see more from Zerlina by clicking any of the videos on this screen, and make sure you subscribe below to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. Thanks for watching.